Today we're going to be talking about whether or not you should actually be using a travel advisor. Hey everyone, it's Christian with Vertigo Views, and I'm a theme park enthusiast and travel agent with over 25 years of experience researching, visiting, and working in theme parks. And I specialize in Universal, Disney, and cruise vacations. So with my honest advice, personal touch, and deep expertise, I want to help you have an unforgettable, stress-free vacation every time you travel. And today I want to talk about travel agents, right? I'm a travel agent, and a lot of people wonder if they're really relevant, if you actually need to use one, what exactly they do. And so I kind of want to clear up some of the questions that people have about those things, because I think it's going to be really beneficial for people to learn that travel agents can actually really help them out. And if you're looking to book a vacation and you're kind of unsure about some of the logistics of that, reach out to me and I can help you book your next vacation. So let's dive in. One big question is, do travel agents still exist? Do they really even matter anymore? Hi, I'm a travel agent, so yes, we definitely do exist. We're definitely still around. It's just a lot different than it was, say, in like the 90s, where there were a lot of brick and mortar travel agencies. You used to go places like AAA to get your trip booked. Now, a lot of that is done primarily by people who are online. They work from home because just with the invention of the internet and a lot of the different tools that people are using, it's just very easy for people to work from home and do this job. So that's where you'll find a lot of people are doing it. Some people do it as their full-time job. Some people do it as a part-time job on the side while they have another full-time job. So there's a lot more flexibility with being a travel agent now, but they absolutely do still exist. Again, you're looking at one. A lot of people wonder too what the difference is between a travel agent and a travel advisor. Now, I personally kind of use those interchangeably to describe myself, and here's why. A travel agent is usually used to describe somebody who's just booking a trip. So they're just buying the tickets, they're just paying for your airfare if that's relevant, they're making sure your hotel is all booked up. A travel advisor is somebody who is really helping you craft an itinerary, create these different plans on your vacation so you know what you're going to do, giving you advice, giving you tips and tricks, giving you their expertise to pass that on to you to make sure you have a great vacation. So I use both of those interchangeably because I do both of those things. I book people's trips for them, but I also use my expertise to help them come up with itineraries or guides that are going to make sure that their vacation is as stress-free as possible. So yes, travel agents and travel advisors still exist. And I actually wanted to read this quote from the American Society of Travel Advisors, where they said 50% of the people they surveyed are more likely to use travel advisors now than in the past. So it's actually still a really relevant industry. It's not like travel has gone anywhere. It may have shifted over the last few decades. Of course, things are a lot different than they used to be, but it's not like travel has just stopped existing. And therefore, travel agents are still really relevant and still really helpful to most people. So we do things like provide services to people like trip itineraries, planning services, we book tickets, we book hotels. And honestly, a lot of the people that are travel agents are specializing in one particular area. So they have a lot of expertise, or they should, and they've gone through a lot of training to be able to sell these things, help you book them, and provide the right amount of advice that's going to make your trip as stress-free as possible. It's not just for the most luxurious vacations, although you definitely can do those as well. You can book a really luxurious all-inclusive resort, and I can help you book that, especially if you want to book somewhere like a Sandals or a Beaches resort. I can help you book that. You can also use a travel agent though if you're a family with small kids. You can use it if you're a solo traveler. If you're just a couple wanting to get away and you don't have kids, travel agents can help you. It doesn't always have to be the most expensive, luxurious, long trip. We can help you get to wherever you need to be. Really, we just want to help you travel and have a good time. You know, we love the places that we travel to, and we want to share that with other people. And we want it to be as stress-free as possible for you, because it can be really stressful to travel, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So let me handle the stress for you. Let other travel agents and advisors handle the stress for you while you're chilling on a beach somewhere. And you know, I want you to think of me when you're on a beach, or you're enjoying yourself at a theme park, or you're on that wonderful cruise ship. I want you to think of me at home, alone, not there. Please think of me. So let's talk about some other things that travel agents can help you with. So first of all, trips can be really complex, right? Hey Disney, Looking at you. 68% of people, according to ASTA, agree that traveling is just more complex now than it used to be. But all joking aside, Disney just really gets a lot of flack nowadays for how complex it's become to visit their theme parks and go on their cruise ships. Because take Disney World, for example, you've got 4 theme parks, you've got 2 water parks, you've got over 30 resort hotels to choose from. So that alone is really overwhelming. And then you've got to figure out what kind of ticket you're getting. Are you getting park hopper tickets? Are you going to want to visit Disney Springs at all to do some shopping and maybe get some dining that you can only get there? Which parks are you going to bounce back and forth from if you have a park hopper ticket? How are you getting to and from the airport? How are you getting to and from the resort to the parks? So there's a lot of logistics that go into planning these vacations. And we haven't even talked about things like Lightning Lane, dining plans, dining reservations. Even look at Universal, who's usually a little more simpler to book than Disney. You've still got to worry about which of the 3 theme parks you're going to. Are you including Volcano Bay, their water park? Are you doing a park-to-park ticket? Or are you just doing a standard ticket where you just do 1 park per day? How are you getting to and from the airport? Which of their over 10 hotels are you staying at? You know, you've got things like Express Pass to worry about. You've got things like where you're going to eat to worry about. Even cruise ships, you know, what room are you staying in? Where are you going to go? Are you going to do any excursion? So travel agents really help tailor the trip exactly to how you want it to be, right? And we talk to you and we make sure that everything that we're suggesting you do is going to be perfect for you. You know, if you are somebody who doesn't like roller coasters, it's not going to make sense for me to build into your itinerary riding every roller coaster at Universal. That's not going to help anybody. You're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to think I was a very good travel agent. It just wouldn't make sense, right? So we can help you create these customized itineraries so that you can have the most stress-free vacation and not worry about all the stress that goes into researching and booking it. You know, apparently 47% of people that ASTA surveyed said that travel is their #1 discretionary income. And that's over double what the next category was, which was home improvements and renovations. So more people want to travel than they want to fix up the home that they're living in. That's insane. Ultimately, we're helping you because we want you to love these places as much as we do. We want you to have a great vacation. We want you to be able to enjoy yourselves because we're sure you've earned it. Saving time and reducing stress is just one of the biggest perks of using a travel agent. So let me give you an example. I first went to Disney World in 2006. We went in April. It ended up being the opening weekend of Expedition Everest, which, I mean, you know, I don't like to brag about that too much, but I do. It's actually a big part of my personality. But, you know, that was my first time going to Disney World and we stayed on property. So when we went to Magic Kingdom, when we visited, we just got dropped off at the bus depot that's just right there in front of Magic Kingdom. I didn't go to Disney for over a decade because poor. But when I finally did go a few years ago, I got dropped off at the Ticket and Transportation Center. If you know, you know. And my sister met me there and she was like, okay, well, we're going to catch the boat to go across the lake to go to the park. And I said, the what? We have to go across the what? I didn't even realize that there was a lake you had to cross before you even got to Magic Kingdom. That's insane. I, at that time, didn't even realize there were over 30 hotels on Disney property. And that's to say nothing of the hotels that are on property that technically Disney doesn't own the hotels. I thought there were a few for sure. I didn't know there were over 30. Keep in mind, this is coming from somebody who has worked in theme parks for over 20 years, who knows of Disney, who knows Six Flags in and out like the back of his hand, who loves roller coasters. I didn't know that you had to go across a lake to get to Magic Kingdom. So if I didn't know that, there's probably a lot of people out there who didn't know that. So they're probably showing up to Magic Kingdom, getting dropped off at the Ticket and Transportation Center, and they haven't factored in the time that it's going to take them to now get from the Ticket and Transportation Center to Magic Kingdom across that lake. That's something that a travel agent can help you with because we've studied these parks, we've studied these places, we've studied these destinations. We know the ins and outs because we've been there ourselves or we've done the adequate training to learn enough about them to be able to sell them to you. So we'll make sure that you have enough time planned to get from the Ticket and Transportation Center to Magic Kingdom. Do you want to do a monorail? Do you want to do a boat ride? Or do you just want to stay at one of the resorts that are right there alongside Magic Kingdom so you can just walk? Those are examples of things that we can do. If I didn't know that information, there's probably a lot of people out there who didn't. And so I want to make sure that they're prepared whenever they go on their next Disney vacation to Disney World. I provide things like custom itineraries. I recently on my blog, vertigoviews.com, posted my own 5-day Universal Orlando itinerary that includes Halloween Horror Nights. That's what I use when I travel to those parks, and I've had a really great time visiting. Now, granted, Epic Universe is a newer addition to that itinerary, but I'm confident that when I go in September, I'm going to be able to follow that almost to a T and have a great time. I share that with people because if they're going, I want them to be able to possibly use it themselves, but also know that it is possible to see all these things and do it in a stress-free way. I've been able to help people go to Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida and in one day be able to do everything that they wanted. I don't know if that would have been possible without the help of a travel agent who's been there and knows the ins and outs of that park. I was able to help them get everything done that they wanted to do in one day. That is crazy. And even recently, I just booked a trip for people going to Disney World, and I booked their Oga's Cantina reservations for them. So they didn't have to worry about doing that. All they had to do was give me access to their My Disney account so I could go in, make that dining reservation, and it was super easy for them. Well, for them. For me, it was 6 a.m. But that's okay. I enjoy doing it. A lot of people say they don't want to use a travel agent or a travel advisor because they can find a cheaper price somewhere else. And that may be entirely true, but just because you're finding a cheaper price doesn't mean you should necessarily book that trip with that supplier. For example, if you buy a trip off of cheapovacations.com, yeah, it may be cheaper than if you book a vacation through me because I go through Disney, but you're not going to get the quality expertise, the quality customer service. If something goes wrong, do you really want to be talking to cheapovacations.com, or do you want to talk to me, who has a direct relationship with Disney themselves? That's kind of a common misconception that people get, is that you can't get cheaper trips by booking with a travel agent, but you actually can't. Because sometimes after you've put a deposit down on a trip, a supplier will release some sort of vacation promotion, whether that's an entire package, discounts on hotel rooms, discount on tickets. They'll release that. And if you aren't staying on top of that, you don't necessarily realize that that promotion that they've released could apply to your trip. Travel advisors, what we do is we keep up to date on all of that stuff. So if you've put a deposit down on a trip, we realize that there's a promotion out. I automatically apply that promotion for you. So it saves you money. And I just let you know, hey, there's this promotion going on. It applied to your trip. I was able to save you $100 or whatever. That's an extra $100 that you can put towards food, drinks, lightning lanes if you're going to Disney World, or excursions if you're on a cruise. There's so many things you can use that $100 for, just as an example. Had you not been booking with a travel agent, you might have missed out on that promotion. And so that's an extra $100 that you could have saved that you didn't even know about. Travel agents are great for providing quality service. Like I said before, we have a relationship with these suppliers. I have a relationship with Disney. I have a relationship with Universal, these cruise lines. So if something goes wrong, we call that supplier directly. We're not going through 3 other people to try and figure out what's going on. We're talking directly to them. And I've been trained in places like Disney. I'm an authorized Disney vacation planner. Universal, I'm an authorized Universal specialist. Royal Caribbean, Virgin Voyages. I've been trained in all of these things. So I know not only how to sell them, but for some of these places, I go there a lot. I go to Universal a lot because I'm an annual pass holder. So I'm at Universal Orlando all the time. I know a lot about that park because I go there, and I want to be able to pass that knowledge on to you and help you have a great vacation. I also just have 25 years of experience in theme parks, visiting them, researching them, working in them. So I know how things work behind the scenes. I know what's going on, and I want to use that knowledge that I've accumulated for over 2 decades to make sure that if you're visiting a theme park, you're going to have a great trip. I've always loved to travel, and I travel quite a bit. I'm very fortunate that I get to travel. I want to use the things I've learned to make sure that you end up loving travel as much as I do, and that it's not extremely stressful, and that you want to keep doing it again and again. I'm not an MLM trying to scam you. I'm not trying to upsell you on things that aren't going to make any sense for you, because ultimately, let's be real. If you're unhappy and you don't like my services, I'm one person. Okay, I don't own a business that brings in $1 million where, oh, that one person didn't like me. I don't have to worry about it because business is booming. No, I'm one person. I do this by myself. And here is the tea. We work on commission. A lot of times these services are not always going to cost you extra. Now, I don't want to say that they're always free, because there are times that maybe there's a planning fee or something associated with it, depending on the trip. But most of the time, these services are free or very low cost. We get a commission. We get a percentage of that. So we're not doing this just because we love money. Sure, there's ways to make a lot of money as a travel agent. If you're booking a lot of corporate travel, if you only specialize in luxury vacations, my reputation is on the line. So I want to make sure that anything that I'm promoting and telling you that you should get is going to make sense for you. Otherwise, what's the point? You won't have fun. You won't recommend me. Then I'm out of business. Then nobody's happy. You didn't have a good vacation and I'm not able to make people happy. So what's the point of all of that? Now, I really pride myself on being honest. That's one of my core principles in my travel agency business. And so I want to talk about when using a travel agent may not be right for you, because it's not always going to be. If you're somebody who loves planning, and I have people like this in my life who really enjoy planning vacations, booking that hotel, booking the flight, doing all the research. If you love doing all of that, then maybe you don't need a travel advisor to help you plan everything. They may be able to just book things for you once you've decided what you want to do. That's an option. But you may enjoy it more yourself if you plan and book everything. And in that case, then a travel agent isn't going to be for you. And that's okay. Some super budget conscious people are going to always want to go for the absolute lowest price they can find, regardless of whether or not that's a reputable company that they're buying from. I highly recommend not buying from companies you aren't familiar with, because even though it may be more expensive if you go through Disney, again, than like cheapovacations.com, the customer service is going to be so much better. There's going to be so much more we can actually help you with because of our personal relationships with these brands. It's just not a great idea. So if you're somebody who's only looking for the absolute cheapest option that you can find at a random place on the internet, then a travel agent may not be for you. We can help you apply discounts as we find them, and we can help you look at things in a way that maybe you hadn't before, and you realize, oh, this trip isn't going to be as much as I thought it was going to be. But if you're looking for the bare minimum, lowest price that you can find anywhere on the internet, we don't work with all of those companies because they're not reputable. So then it may not be a great idea to work with a travel advisor in that situation. Just remember, you can book a Disney vacation yourself. You can book a cruise yourself. You can do whatever you want. I believe that you have the freedom to do that. But if something goes wrong, you kind of only have yourself to blame. If you miss out on something, that's really on you. Let a travel agent help you so you don't miss out on things, and things hopefully will not go wrong for you. There's a lot more we can do if things start to go wrong. So that's basically kind of what travel agents do. So they're still really relevant. They're still around in the world. It just looks different than it used to. And we can be really helpful. And we love helping people, or at least you should be a travel agent if you enjoy helping people. Like I said, I love theme parks. That's what I specialize in. I want people to go to Universal and love it as much as I love it. I want it to be the safe space for them and this own little bubble, this own little world that they can escape to, and the same way that it is for me. That's why I do this, because I have all this knowledge and all this expertise, and I really just want people to experience these things in the way that I do. I want them to be happy. I want them to be stress-free. That's really what we do as travel agents. We want people to be able to travel the world with as little stress as possible, making as many memorable memories as they can. So come work with me. Come be weird with me. I love geeking out on lots of different things, but I love geeking out on theme parks and roller coasters. I may not be great at identifying dog breeds, but if you put a picture of a roller coaster in front of me, I might be able to tell you its name and where it's located. In all seriousness, though, if you are thinking about booking a vacation to Universal, Disney, a cruise, an all-inclusive, or if you just are booking a vacation and you kind of just don't know what to do, or you're looking for some advice, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. It's super simple. There's a link in the description below. You'll just click that link and fill out the form. The form is super easy. It just asks you questions like where you want to travel, how long, do you have any budgetary preferences? The more information you can give me, the better. And then I may reach out to you with some follow-up questions, but then I'll create this really detailed quote for you and we can go from there. And that's free. You don't have to pay anything for me to give you a quote right now. So click that link in the description below and reach out if you have any questions. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more about the different adventures that I'm going on, the different tips and tricks I want to offer you so you can enjoy theme parks and vacations more. Yeah, I'll see you all later and have a great day.